This is NR2003 Predicts. Using constantly updating ratings, we determine where Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series drivers will place at any given track any given week. Standard disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only, using the process of artificial intelligence, and should not be used in the process of gambling. So here's how it works. We update drivers' ratings week by week as we go throughout the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule. We run a 100% simulation with normal tire wear and fuel consumption. Qualifying results match what the drivers actually ran in real life. Because qualifying data can't be arranged at the same time as forcing cautions, stages will not be enforced throughout these races. And weather used reflects the real-time data based on the actual start time of the race. Once again, it is all Hendrick on the front row. William Byron, several poles to his name, is going to lead the field to the green flag here at the Charlotte Roval. The 88 car of Alex Bowman has made a hard charge to get in front of Byron on the start. Jimmy Johnson slots in the third as Joey Logano did not get a good jump on the initial start, and that is going to put HMS 1, 2, 3 as we go through these inner corners. Charlotte Roval introduced 1 year ago. Somewhat of a way to get a road course into the playoffs, and it was a big hit last year. Much anticipated again this year. And right now it's looking like HMS has a strong performance right now as William Byron slots into second place, and everyone kind of going single file out as they have exited the inside road course and are back on the main oval. Getting back to the chicane. And they will come around for the end of lap number 1 of 109 on this race, and it's going to be led by Alex Bowman. William Byron and Bowman in a tight battle for the 12th spot. Obviously, there could be a little bit more position shuffling, but at the moment they are sitting 12th and 13th, separated by just 2 points. So internally in that team, they are battling each other, but they do want to both get in. Big contact there. That's Joe Nemechek getting into the back of Parker Kligerman, coming to the end of the first lap, and that is actually going to put him out of the race. Don't think they want to damage up that Premium Motorsports car too much more. Martin Truex Jr., the winner of the 2 races this round in the playoffs. And here at the Roval, he is trying to see if he can sweep the entire round. In fact, 1 year ago, he was looking like he was on pace to win this event until he got taken out by Jimmy Johnson. Some contact right here between Matt Benedetto and Kurt Busch, and you can see Busch jumping the turtles, as we would so call them, those blue curbs on the entries of the chicane. That is actually going to send Benedetto down to pit lane to get that damage repaired as he made contact with the one. There's Ryan Blaney, who won this event 1 year ago because of the contact between Truex Jr. and Johnson. He was running third as he entered the final few corners and was able to steal one away, and that was his only victory of the season, 2 in his career, also winning Pocono 2017. And that also made him the first Cup winner here at this track. Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson, who was kind of the aggressor in that incident, still trying to look to break that winless streak and battling with his teammates out front, although he's slipping back a little bit from those front 2. Bubba Wallace getting loose through the final corners, and looks like David Reagan and Landon Castle really going to be damaged up in that one. I think the 0-0 damaged enough that might take him out of the race. And now here comes Eric Jones. He's coming down the pit lane for some reason. We don't actually see anything wrong with the car. It looks like it's got to be something mechanical. Something that's not too visible, but he is going to have to come down. Fortunately, at this track, you're not going to lose a lap if you come down for a pit stop, as long as you're not too far back because of the lap times. Clint Boyer trying to get his way back into the conversation. He is 4 points behind the cut line on William Byron, trying to see what he can do to get a good run here today. And there's going to be problems for Parker Kligerman right here. He's going to run into the chicane as he tries to get by the slow car of Landon Castle, who's going to get collected in a little bit of instant karma for the 0-0, going a little slow through that chicane with that damage he already had. So we get the restart, and Eric Jones actually out front because he stayed out while everyone came in. That's because Jones had just come down and taken that pit stop and gotten 4 fresh tires, and now he's going to be the one out in front. William Byron, however, he's going to have a slow pit stop. He goes back to 7th place. And it seems like passing's a little bit of a premium here, although it looks like Kurt Busch might try to take a look in the middle of Speedway turns 1 and 2. And Busch is looking like he's got that position taken care of, so Byron's slipping back a little bit more. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch is way back in the field, and that's very uncharacteristic of the 18. He must have had a slow pit stop as well, something they might have been fixing on the race car while they were down there, and obviously better to have a problem early on. But contact here between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Cody Ware in the 51 car this week. They're going to go around in the chicane, and a little bit lucky that no one behind them is also going to pile in based on where they were wrecking at, but that will send us to another caution, and we'll have Alex Bowman back taking the restart as Jones now comes down for a pit stop and sends him to the back of the field. Since we mentioned Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s name, we got to bring up Chris Buescher, who's taking over the 17 seat in 2020. A little bit of conversation about the ethics behind that decision. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. being informed pretty late, but that isn't going to stop the 2015 Xfinity champion from returning home. And we got some problems up here. It looks like Daniel Hemrick runs into Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell into Denny Hamlin. Looks like Corey LaJoie ran into the 34 and Reed Sorensen going around in the back. 3 separate incidents right there. Here's a look at the one in the back, and Kyle Busch going to be the one that gets into the 77, I believe. Sorensen was checking up for the smoke up ahead, and Kyle Busch did not anticipate that. And we had a problem under caution. Both of the JTG teammates, Chris Buescher we were just talking about, and Ryan Preece really getting the blunt of that damage, as everyone just kind of accordions right there in the middle of the road course section. Eric Jones back up at the front, coming to the restart. And Jimmy Johnson gonna make a mistake right here. After having a solid run in the beginning part of this race, he is going to hit the wall in the chicane and give up a really good run. Sends us to another caution. And we're looking at Eric Jones once again. Unsure what we're going to see on pit strategy throughout this race, especially if these cautions keep coming out. And it looks like another one might be coming out right here. Bubba Wallace going to make contact with Daniel Suarez coming off the final turn. Eric Almirola takes a hit. Ryan Blaney, a huge hit, goes over on his roof, and that is going to take him out of the race. And they stack up behind. Looks like Clint Boyer also involved. And coming to the chicane, Denny Hamlin going to give a big shunt to Paul Menard. A lot of contact, and I think Ryan Blaney is going to be the one in the most danger as he comes into this round 8 points ahead of 13th. So he is not safe at all, and it looks like he's going to have a poor finishing position right here. Here is Austin Dillon in the special Jack Daniels scheme, that former sponsor reuniting with RCR. Dillon finished 39th in this race 1 year ago, and that ultimately dropped him out of the playoffs. This year he's not even in the playoffs, but he's putting up together a good run up there in the top 3. Meanwhile, here comes Clint Boyer. He is kind of in the back of the field right now, but he is still on the racetrack. That is important for him to try to make up those points, as he is going to try to beat out some of those guys just like Blaney who crash out. He's going to need some more help though, but it looks like DiBenedetto is going to get into the 17 car and into the wall, and that is going to bring out yet another caution as these guys continue to just not be able to keep themselves straight. And there's going to be a problem for another playoff driver. Brad Keselowski going to blow up, and that might take him out of the race, but fortunately for him, he is way above the cut line by a good 40 to 50 points. That should keep him safe going into the next round. Now we have David Reagan out in front. This is a little bit of pit strategies. A lot of cars came down. 38 deciding to stay out. And here comes Eric Jones. Contact with the 32, and they are going to hit the chicane wall. And the 20 car is out. Eric Jones, we didn't talk about it, but he had to win to advance to the next round. And now that chance of getting that victory is up in smoke. And so he is not going to advance to round 2 for the second year in a row. Reagan taking the restart once again. Kevin Harvick, even though he doesn't have a victory this round, he is safe into the next round of the playoffs, along with Kyle Busch, based on where they are in points. And so this is a pretty calm situation for the 4-car. All he wants to do right now is go out and get a victory or stage win and get some more playoff points to help him advance to the championship 4 again this year. Looking on board, William Byron, who is still in the 9th position. The pole sitter has been having a little bit of trouble getting back to where he started at after having that poor first pit stop. teammates going to tangle right here as 3 SHR cars running together. Eric Almirola going to get turned by his teammate Daniel Suarez, and that is a big problem. Suarez not in the playoffs. Almirola is. He comes to a stop, but I believe he is still in the race at the moment. Definitely not a move that Suarez should have made. And another problem in the chicane is Garrett Smithley is going to go off the front end of playoff driver Kevin Harvick, and then Smithley gets pounded by Sorensen. So the 52 and the 77 car are going to drop out from that incident. We'll see Alex Bowman up here at the front, being followed by Martin Truex Jr., who has the first 2 victories of this round, and now trying to see if he can get a clean sweep. Have to track down that 88 and make a pass somewhere. And William Byron going to make contact with Michael McDowell in the chicane and pound the wall. And that is going to bring Byron's playoff hopes to a halt. I don't know if we're going to see too many drivers behind him in too much trouble. Kurt Busch still in the race. Clint Bowyer is there but damaged. Alex Bowman up there leading. So this is a very tense situation for Byron if he wants to make the next round. Ryan Newman, he is establishing his resume. 9th in coming into this race and still running up there in the top 10. Meanwhile, Joey Logano trying to work his way back up. He's fading a little bit, but trying to work his way through the chicane and into the wall he goes as he was trying to make a pass on the 66. He was way farther back than he should have been in this race, but that is really going to kill his race car. And now the 22 car out in this one. Green flag back out. We're nearing the end of this one. And the 88 is trying to see if he can get his 2nd career victory, the 2nd this season as well. And McDowell now into the wall. Went to the hospital before practice on Friday, and I don't know if that's going to really help the pains that he was feeling that morning, but he is going to be out in this one. And a bizarre incident here as they were coming to the restart. Paul Menard got loose and got collected by Cody Ware. And I believe that's actually going to take both of them out of this race. So a weird accident coming to a restart. And another incident right here is the 66 of Timmy Hill going to go off the front end of Chris Buescher. And he'll try to work his way out of the chicane and around the Blue Turtles. Currently up at the top 5, it is all playoff drivers. Got Bowman, Truex, Kurt Busch, followed by Larson and Elliott, riding on board the 9 car as he goes through this inside road course. Let's look back 1 or 2 positions, and you've got the front row teammates of David Reagan and Matt Tifft. Great runs by both of those drivers, who at some points were running last in the driver's standings among full-timers. They are putting together top 10 runs right now. Super impressive for Matt Tifft, who's been struggling to make performance. David Reagan in his final season trying to get as much as he can out of this experience. Kyle Busch is not having a good day whatsoever. He has not been a factor all race and is just trying to limp it home. He knows he's in the next round. At this point, nothing really matters to him, just like it didn't matter at Las Vegas. Truex is trying to chase down the 88 of Alex Bowman, but the passing has been at a premium so far this race. He just can't find a way to get to him. Kyle Larson, he and his teammate Kurt Busch having a great day for Chip Ganassi Racing as they run in the 3rd and 4th positions. That should be enough to get at least Larson through for good. Kurt Busch maybe trying to challenge for it. But there is going to be a caution right here, and that could shift a little bit as it looks like it was debris caution, no crash right there. But they will get back to green with under 10 laps to go. Bowman out in front still. Truex Jr. following right behind him. Meanwhile, you've got Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Busch. They're all running in a line. Eric Almirola there. Playoff drivers trying to score a top 10 and see if they can all get in. Harvick's good. Busch is good. Bowyer is right there on the cut line. And Almirola should be okay based on who's wrecked around him. Throw Newman into that mix as well as he is just behind Almirola. He should be fine as well. Came into this race 9th. He's had Blaney, Byron, and Jones wrecked behind him. That should put him in a safe position to make the next round. Meanwhile, it's going to be Alex Bowman taking the white flag. The 88 driver has not had any problems getting around this circuit today. And you got to remember, look back to last year. He finished 4th in this event, started 3rd. He started 2nd today. Clearly, the speed is not lost on this driver, as he's been able to make gains as he's gone through his Cup progression. Obviously, coming into Hendrick Motorsports, as a full-time driver last season. In 2017, he was able to get a victory in the Xfinity Series, his first National Series race win at this racetrack. However, it was on the oval. Now he's going to be a winner at the Roval if he can make these final few turns. Truex Jr. not going to spin into him just like Johnson did last year. And that is going to be victory number 2 for Alex Bowman on the season. And he is going to move on to the next round. Even just a solid points day with a little bit of trouble with the drivers in front of him would have gotten him through. But he went for the victory, and he'll be greatly rewarded with a few extra playoff points. He can tack on a stage, winning the first stage. Martin Truex Jr. comes up just behind Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. All playoff drivers front row doing great today, at least for 2 of their drivers, David Reagan and Matt Tifft. Michael McDowell unfortunately crashed. Rounded out by Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, and Kevin Harvick in the top 10. More playoff drivers, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Busch, and Ryan Newman coming in just behind. It looks like Almirola had a mechanical problem. He only falls back to 17th because there were so many drivers that ended up crashing out in this one. 16 ultimately taking the checkered flag. Looking back 10 spots, Joey Logano coming up 22nd, William Byron 23rd, Eric Jones 26th, Brad Keselowski 28th, Denny Hamlin 30th. All playoff drivers, and that really shakes up their position in the points. Ryan Blaney in 32nd. That is the last playoff driver. He was the first one to get crashed out, but you also had Jimmy Johnson down there. Another one of those heartbreaks to see as he was trying to break that winless streak. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed the race, and we will see you all next time.